Cool. Well, welcome to 5,000 Miles, second episode here, talking about Rick and Morty. How you doing over there today, Vince?
I'm doing pretty great. 5,000 miles away, but I feel like right next door. So, season 8, episode 1, the name of it is Summer of All Fears.
Just to synopsize the episode, yeah, Rick gets drunk, falls asleep, leaves Morty and Summer in a matrix to try and teach them a lesson about not stealing his cell phone charger and not giving it back to them. And because of time dilation, he accidentally leaves them in there for 17 years or
Yeah, something like that.
so they come
Yeah.
out and they coordinate. Summer finds a way out. They find a way to coordinate it with Beth getting drunk so she would provide a distraction. And they keep their memories from being in the Matrix. And then the episode plays out from there. I gotta say that conceptually, I absolutely loved it from the jump.
I thought it was a perfect first episode for the season. Yeah, it kind of works as a bottle episode, but
Yeah.
also it's drawing on a lot of other things from the Rick and Morty universe that we already have established, which I absolutely loved. For instance, the mind blower machine, the little mind blower gun.
I loved seeing it again, man. I love that episode.
It was so cool to see that make an appearance again, and it just goes to show that it's like they don't just do a concept and then throw it away and forget about it forever, which is something that's great about Rick and Morty, is that they're constantly keeping what they've built on in mind. So it's like, yeah, I mean, if you have the ability to erase your memory, then if Rick does something to you, like leave you in a matrix for 17 years or whatever, are you gonna want to wipe your memory? And even if it was a bad experience or it traumatized you, are those memories worth holding on to? I think there's a lot of deep philosophical questions that get raised in this episode.
Yeah, well, the one thing I wanted to mention on the surface, but just littered with charger and phone charger referencey stuff, the name of this, the name of that. It's constantly so clever the way that they're just like
They
tucking it all in.
they put so much effort into making sure that every little detail in the charger matrix had some sort of charger related thing, whether it be like battery or electricity or a little charger thing. I love a tattoo that he gets in prison that's like it's a charger with a face, and its cord is going back into its own mouth. The guy that he meets at the bar has the same tattoo.
Yeah, when the cop arrests Morty initially and he's reading him the Miranda rights,
You have the right to remain plugged in. Any charger you steal can and will be used against you.
it's all like phone charger, or like you have the right to not steal someone's phone charger or something.
And then Summer says that she went to like Charger University and she was summa cum laude or summa cum charger.
Literally, the only thing they can do is see everything through the lens of not taking Rick's phone charger.
In order to piss off the country enough into going to war, the terrorist cuts the cord off the charger instead of
Yeah.
like killing a person.
Yeah.
He literally just cuts the cord off the charger.
And he's not happy about it either. I think he was being like forced to do it. And he's like, we can fix this, right?
Yeah, yeah. We find out later the reveal is that that whole thing was orchestrated and set up by Summer.
Yeah.
And once he takes off the terrorist mask, he's like, "Oh, we can fix it!" Like he's so distraught over cutting the charger in half that like it traumatizes him.
And as corny as it was, calling him Osama bin Chargin made me laugh out loud.
It's so dumb.
Like they
It's
know
great.
when something's dumb and when something's funny dumb, and that's a perfect example of like, yeah, dude, you could see them in the writing room like call him Osama bin
Yeah.
Chargin. It's
They're
great,
like one of the things that I really liked about this episode too is that
right?
like they drop you right into this thing where from the very beginning of the episode they show you that Summer is the head of a tech company, and everybody is talking about not taking people's chargers, and it's like they don't waste any time. There's no fat on this episode. They just drop you right into this weird scenario, and it's like, all right, you just got to roll with it, and then eventually they're going to explain what's going on. But from the first second, you have no idea like what is this weird reality that they're in.
Yeah, no, I love that because it's so engaging. because you trust them. You trust that they're gonna bring it home. When Summer like gets dropped off by a helicopter to go find Morty because she's got to get him in order for them to leave the Matrix. She's like, "It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock in reality. We got to bounce." And Morty's kind of living in that cabin.
Yeah.
Did that remind you of the little mini cabin that they stay in on the mini planet? Remember
Oh,
when
on Tiny Planet.
like on the tiny little planet, they're like in a cabin?
Yeah, it did
Eh,
kind of remind me of like their little cabin on Tiny Planet.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was just like what that was, but it took me back. Like it made me think about that for a second. So I thought that might have been worth
And I like that
mentioning.
he's just living out in the woods with his two dogs,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
just like this washed up ex-con, ex-military,
And he likes
ex-firefighter
it.
guy.
He's like, I don't want to go back home. There's nothing for me there. It's better here. So
Yeah,
let me ask you this. That version of Morty that we see there, like I guess he's like th in his late 30s, mid to late 30s.
yeah.
When do we also see that version of Morty in a different Rick and Morty episode?
I was thinking about this also.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's in the Rick Marai Jack episode.
But yeah, so I
Morty
was
has aged himself. Yeah, it's in that arc, and Morty
yeah.
has aged himself to 40 years old. And so they bring him to the not it's not a Build a Bear or Build a Morty, it's Rebuild a Morty. And
Right.
so that yeah, because he's aged himself so much, they got to crack him in half and take the extra time out. And what comes out is a 26-year-old Morty who is old enough where he's almost ready to sell out.
So I was wondering
And
if you picked up on that.
it's good. I like seeing Morty at that age too.
Yes, I love it as well.
He looks in a lot better shape than when he's 40-year-old Morty and he's got the big gut and everything.
Yeah, Rick's like, I don't want to remember you like this or something like that. He says to him because
Yeah,
like, you look like
exactly.
shit, Morty. But
Now, obviously, when they're in the Matrix, they deal with the idea of time being faster and slower than in reality. It reminds me of other times where they've dealt with that. And I think the most recent one was probably when they send Morty to go get the wine. And there's the other dimension where the wine is aging in that
yeah,
dimension. And he accidentally kills the guy and he keeps going back. And they're aging like thousands of years in their
yeah.
civilization.
Jessica gets stuck on the other side and becomes a time god or whatever.
Yeah, she becomes a time god because she gets sucked into that guy's like goo or whatever.
He's like, "Fuck you, I'm a time god." But another time dilation one is the Roy.
Roy, yeah, actually,
Yeah.
there's both Roy episodes.
Did you
Yeah.
here's another question for you. So Beth and Summer, now older Summer, they're sitting there drinking in this episode at the table and they're talking about life. We've seen Beth sitting at that exact chair drinking with another character. Uh
Okay, you know what? I didn't think about that until just now, but that scene did seem very familiar.
yeah.
When she's there with Mr. Meeseeks.
Correct. Mr.
Okay.
Meeseeks and she's like
So
he's like, "You want one more?" She's like, "I think I've had enough," because she almost kisses him.
oh yeah. Now, did you double check to make sure is that the same spot?
I didn't double check it, just I'm almost positive
Yeah, I mean,
just from
it
looking
looks
at it.
like it gave me the exact same vibes of them sitting at that same spot.
Yeah, that's where Beth likes to go day drink.
Yeah, exactly. I
And
mean, a
whether it
third
be with
mimosa
Mr.
on a Wednesday. I mean, who are we?
Who are we? Right. So either 40-year-old Summer or Mr. Meeseeks. If Beth's trying to tie one on in the afternoon, that's where she goes. I'm gonna let's do a little call and response here. I'm gonna say something and see if it brings anything to mind for you. All right.
Okay.
Buy one, get one free bar.
Matrix Morty's got an eye for a deal.
Oh, look at that, Rick. They got a sale on rebar.
Oh, hell yeah! Buy two rebar, get one free bar? Matrix Morty's got an eye for a deal!
If that's not the best fucking standalone line from a Rick and Morty episode in as long as I can remember, dude.
I know. I remember hearing that, and like, there's every once in a while, Rick and Morty will get me with a line that makes me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, as funny as Rick and Morty is, most of the time it's so busy being like brilliant that I don't have that. I'm more reveling and in awe of the show than I am just like laughing out loud at it.
Yeah,
But every once in
same
a
with South
while, they
Park.
get me. Yeah, it's every once in a while they get me with a line.
That's exactly why you can get blindsided and laugh at a silly joke and laugh out loud like that. Because actually, what's going on in your head is like serious concentration. You're like paying attention to every little detail. You're trying to pick up on the concepts, etc. And then all of a sudden, Rick comes running through the hardware store with the rebar. Matrix Morty's got an eye for a deal. It's too funny,
There was
man.
another line right after that that made me laugh also, where he's talking about Morty having four purple hearts, and Morty's like, no, it's actually five, but that and a nickel will get you a cup of coffee.
Listen, if this is about the beers, Morty's cool. He has like 4 purple hearts.
5. Those and a nickel will get you a cup of coffee.
Oh, disillusioned Morty. Love this guy.
Get you
And he goes,
Disillusion Morty.
he goes, I like disillusioned Morty.
Yes, I cracked up at that too. And I gotta say that again, in perfect Rick and Morty fashion, they find the perfect time to bring out and dust off Wubba Lubba Dub Dub!
What the Oh. Matrix my ass! Wubba lubba dub dub!
Yeah.
When Rick was getting out of the Matrix himself, and notice that the Matrix that Rick was in was like the Matrix from the movie.
And I mean, kudos to Morty and Summer for both being able to plot some sort of thing to actually catch Rick off guard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Morty and Summer from earlier seasons probably wouldn't have been able to trick Rick into getting him trapped in a Matrix. But I think Rick is letting his guard down a little bit more. And also Summer and Morty have really come a long way as well.
Well, in this particular episode, this version of Morty, he's a war hero. Like his life experience would be somebody, and he's been plotting. Remember, he said, I've been plotting this way longer than Summer has, even though she stole a vehicle as well.
Yeah.
So that this episode's version of Morty, his life experience, those 14 years made him capable of such a thing, I guess. Like
Yeah.
the Morty that's coming into next episode is not capable of getting at Rick like that because he's been mind blown. And then Summer proves that she hasn't changed at all because she doesn't even listen to the message from herself like a vapid airhead teen bitch.
I love you, and you should love yourself. The first thing your peers will try to take from you is your adult empathy. It's your greatest gift and the one thing
Send a
they-
text.
It's such an interesting twist on that scene because I've seen in other videos people leaving messages to themselves after their memory was going to get erased, and it's usually like this heartfelt moment, and I think that she's gonna like impart this to herself, and she's just like TLDR, like send a text, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And then she calls up her friend Trisha and says, "What are we huffing tonight?"
Yes, we do know like that she likes to huff pottery enamel.
Yeah, and also when they in the episode where Rick fucks the planet and then he has to end up fighting that Zeus guy, they're in the spaceship and she starts huffing some sort of like weird gas out of the spaceship as well.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So we know Summer has quite the penchant for huffing things.
Yeah, she's into that. The so Morty dying, being incapable of dying and just kind of continuously respawning so that they can win that war. Can you remember another time when Morty was in a situation where he kept respawning?
Oh, are we talking about the Vat of Acid episode?
Ding ding ding.
Yeah.
Yes. And the Emmy award-winning Vat of Acid episode.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
what a great episode. And then, of course, it turns out that he was capable of dying. And that those were all happening to other Mortys in other universes. But
It's the prestige, Morty.
the other thing that reminded me of the Vat of Acid episode in this episode is that the Rick and Morty writers, they have this really great thing where they can they can show you something really serious and put a lot of pathos into something that's not
Totally.
real and then rip it away from you.
And they
So-
did that. Big
and
time.
so they did this like with the Matrix. He builds this relationship with CJ as a firefighter, and then they go to war together, and he has all of his war buddies, and all this is taking place in the Matrix. That's not real. We saw it in the Roy episode where, he has this whole life. He's Roy the Rocket, and he has his football career, and then he has a wife and everything. And then all of a sudden, he's trying to grab some carpets, and he falls off the ladder, and all of a sudden that's all ripped away from him. And the Vat of Acid episode is the quintessential example of he meets this girl, he falls in love. Story. They survive the plane crash, and then all of a sudden Jerry's trying to change the channel on the TV, and he resets the whole thing. Oh man,
he gets that dumb look on his face.
The Rick and Morty writers, they do that better than any other thing, and it's they never shy away from creating this like rich tapestry and then just like taking you away from it.
I think they did a good job of it in the spaghetti episode as well.
The spaghetti episode also, where they show this guy has this whole life and he loves the Legos, and then he wants to be an architect, and his wife leaves him and all that stuff, and they build all of this pathos around this guy who just ends up killing himself to be turned into spaghetti. And man, nobody does it better than Rick and Morty.
And the only other thing that I really felt like I wanted to point out was that I also got a kick out of the snorkel joke.
Fear not, guard number 2. The moat was installed for this exact scenario. There's not a tank on Earth that can cross that water.
Oh shit, it's got a snorkel!
Run!
Because they set the snorkel joke up, actually, when they're sitting in front of the house. He's like, Morty says something like, I think a snorkel would go good here. And you don't think
we should put a snorkel in the engine block.
Right, and then it pays
Which anybody that's ever seen the movie Dante's Peak knows, got to put a snorkel in the engine block.
So when it finally happened, I got a kick out of it. I mean, it was a little cheese ball, but
it was kind of corny, but also like the way that the truck pops up out of the moat is so cartoonish also. But that's the thing that you love about Rick and Morty, is that they're not afraid to be completely serious and tied to reality, but then just like that on a dime turn into something that's completely cartoony as well. And since we're talking about when they go to the nuclear power plant stuff, the joke about the people saying, hey, you shouldn't steal your grandpa's technology, and they think that they're NPCs from in Matrix, and Rick's like, no, they're just stating very obvious facts. That
pretty obvious stuff.
Really smart.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really funny. Where
I like that too.
They had that twist where you think they're in a Matrix again, but then it's just like, no, like just don't steal your grandpa's technology.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly a genius. All right, well, I think that's all there is to say about this one. I'm definitely looking forward to episode 3, so we'll be back on
I can't wait.
We'll be back on here to see what we can point out about that one and talk about what cracked us up. Check us out on the next episode, 5,000 Miles.